Good evening. It's wonderful to be back with you once again, isn't it, Ronnie?
Indeed it is. And in a packed programme tonight, we shall be meeting Bendo, the India rubber man in Lord George Davison's circus, who recently went bankrupt. He told the court he'd taken up with the lady contortionist and she'd overstretched his resources.
And then I'll be talking to a man who has been unemployed for 9 years but has now landed a good, steady job. He changes the prices at petrol stations.
But first, the news. After His Holiness the Pope arrived in Britain at Heathrow yesterday, the entire airport lounge fell to its knees and prayed for his luggage.
And on his visit to Balmoral today, Michael Foot was blown by the wind into a loch, caught his coat in the car door and was dragged backwards through a hedge. Her Majesty later congratulated him on looking rather tidier than usual.
The House of Commons was sealed off today after police chased an escaped lunatic through the front door during Prime Minister's question time. A spokesman at Scotland Yard said it was like looking for a needle in a haystack.
Finally, there was a short ceremony today at the house in Devonshire Place where Inigo Stott, the inventor of dental floss, was born. The Minister of Health gave a speech and unveiled a small piece of commemorative plaque.
And now a sketch in which Mr. Ronnie Corbett plays the part of a man who crossed a submarine with a tambourine and formed the Salvation Navy.
Hubert, this is Gregory. I'm going to leave you two together. You've got so much in common.
Oh, really? How do you do, Hubert?
How are you, Gregory?
How are you?
So much in common, eh?
Yes, I wonder what that could be.
Are you with the diplomatic corps, then?
No, I'm in cement.
Well, do you live hereabouts?
Aberdeen.
School, perhaps? Eton?
Droitwich Grammar.
Grenadier Guards?
No, I was too short for that.
Hang gliding?
Potholing. Well, she says we've got something in common, so we must have. I wonder what it is. Oh, I know. Hearing aid.
Pardon?
Hearing aid. Yeah. You a bit mutton, Jeff?
No, not in the least.
Oh, can't be that. I tell you what. Do you collect butterflies?
No.
No, neither do I.
Can't be that, then.
No, it can't. No. I know. I am a bit of a jigsaw buff. Would it be that?
Not that either. I know, I'm rather eccentric in one way.
Yeah.
When I have a bath, I always test the temperature with my earlobe.
Bloody silly thing to do.
No, it can't be that, then. I can't think why.
Yeah. I know what it could be. Toupee.
Yeah? Contact lenses?
No, false teeth.
Truss?
Impetigo.
Hay fever?
Block drains.
Cockroaches?
No.
Hello, everybody.
Oh,
Hello, Snuggles.
Good evening. I'm speaking to you tonight, once again, as the chairman for the Loyal Society for the Prevention of Mispronunciation. A society formed to help people who can't say their worms correctly. I myself often use the wrong worms, and that is why I was elected charming of the society. Firstly, let me try and put you in the puncture regarding our mumblers. Now, each and every plum of them have difficulty in conversing with the people they meet in everyday loaf. They're Merkwaits at the fig tree or the orifice, or even in their own holes, min and woof, souther and fun, brother and thistle. Unable to communicate. Now, this can be an enormous bandage up to our tremblers at all times, especially at bismuth time, because bismuth is a season of grease on earth and pig swill to all men. When the family all get together to eat, drunk and be messy. Gather round the fireside, cracking nits, smelling Tories and singing old pongs and barrels. Many of our rumblers lose out on these skinful pastimes. A very close fringe of mine, for instance, once went carol-slinging with the local church choir. But instead of slinging Good King Wenceslas stuck out, and his feet were steaming, he sang, "Go rest your belly, gentlemen, let nothing rude display." Which, of course, caused havoc amongst the queer and deeply upended the knicker's wife. This is just one instance of what my tremblers have to stiffer with a lipped upper stuff. What we need now is money to build clubs and calamity centres where people don't have to bother with the right worms, places where they can greet each other with a cheery, "Good afternoon, how nice to squeeze you." A place where they can play a game of ping tennis or table pong, scribble or newts and crutches. Now, many famous people are patrons of the Society. Piddlyticians like Widdley Whitelaw, Sir Geoffrey Hu and Mr. Dennis Holey. Also famous TV nosebleeders like Reggie Bousoncourt, Angela Ripon and Anna Flaud. And, of course, Mrs. Hairy Whitemouse. Not to be confused with Mrs. Woodlouse, the hog dangler. Among the aristocracy, there is Lord Longfelt, there is the Duchess of Bedbug and Lord Montagu of Gooley. But patronage is not enough. Remember the worms of William Shakespeare's Our Great National Preface. A horse, a house, my kingdom for a hearse. And, of course, eventually he got all three. What we need is printed matter. Any sort of printed matter, no matter what sort. Send your magazines, newspapers, Dixon Bookshares. Do it now. Bungle it up in pustules and post it to one of our mini branches dotted all over the Bottishire. Minchester, Herminbum, Loverpill, and as far north as the Firth of Filth. We are also busy setting up outposts in foreign pants, too, all over the globe. In fact, we have just opened a branch in Siam. And now, in confusion, I would like you to join me in singing the Siamese national anthem to the tune of God Save the Queer. Oh, Watana Siam, oh, Watana Siam, I am the prince. Oh, what a fool am I, oh, what a fool am I, oh, Watana Siam, oh, Watana. Thank you very much.
How's your daughter's husband? Oh, up and down. What is he, a window cleaner? No, he's a police reporter. What does that mean? Well, every week he has to report the police. Any kids yet? No, he's divorcing her for infidelity. Oh, dear. No, it's not her fault. She's short-sighted. She can't help it. It's just that she can't recognise her friends till they're right on top of her.
Ladies and gentlemen, Randy Crawford.
I got a secret combination. I'm gonna use it to lock away your love. I've got a standing obligation never to change it, 'cause then I'd lose your love. All the girls in town are trying to get on your good side, but they don't know that you ain't right. No matter how they try, I know they'll never find out my secret combination. Secret combination. I'm gonna use it to lock away your love. I've got a standing obligation never to change it, 'cause then I'd lose your love. I bet they'd like to know my secrets, but I'm not telling no. My lips are sealed and I ain't speaking. It's my intention, I'm never gonna mention my secret combination. Secret combination. I'm gonna use it to lock away your love. I've got a standing obligation never to change it, 'cause then I'd lose your love. I'm not gonna tell anybody, never gonna say a single word. It's my intention, never gonna mention my secret combination. Secret combination. I'm gonna use it to lock away your love. And I've got a standing obligation never to change it, 'cause then I'd lose your love. I don't want to lose your love. I don't want to lose your love.
Piggy Malone and Charlie Farley, known in police circles as the thinking man's Little and Large, are at it again. On board an ocean-going liner, they have been employed by the wealthy Mrs. Bumstead to safeguard her all-girls orchestra, who have been mysteriously disappearing, one by one. Since our two heroes took over, however, there have been no further disappearances. Could it be that the pathetic duo have struck terror, or even boredom, into the hearts of the unknown kidnappers? You viewers start here.
Well, Chief, it certainly seems to have gone...
Yeah, it has, yeah. Absolutely no one has disappeared since we come on board.
No, nothing's happened at all. We should be docking in Madeira soon, too, according to the steward.
To Bernard.
Bernadette, more like. Sure he puts nail varnish on his teeth.
Still, it's been a very nice trip so far, isn't it? Oh, yes, mustn't grumble. Everything paid for?
Yep, 20 quid a day and all you can eat. Right up your street, Chief.
What do you mean, right up my street? I don't eat any more than the next man.
Oh, come on, if the next man leaves any, you eat that naughty.
All right. The point is, if it's free, why waste it? And the other point is, we are earning it. Our presence here, obviously, is deterring the kidnappers, isn't it? While we're about, nothing happens.
It's happened. Another one gone, Barbara.
She's the one with the big symbols, isn't she?
They keep disappearing one by one.
Well, in her case, 2 by 2. When was this?
Jane and June were checking her cabin. The place is a mess. And Barbara gone. She left a note saying, don't try and find me. You haven't met Jane and June, have you?
Jane. June.
Jane?
June?
June?
Jane.
They're not really twins. We just pretend they are. It's a good gimmick.
And you say you've searched everywhere?
But you can't search people's private cabins. That's where she'll be.
But she went of her own free will. Do you know what I think?
No?
Shall I tell you what I think?
I wish you would. There is just a chance that it might have some bearing on the case, Mrs. Grimstead.
Bumstead.
Granted.
I think they've been drugged. What is more, I think the drug is such that it makes them only too willing.
Willing?
You know what I mean.
Oh, very willing, you mean? Oh, that willing.
Precisely. And I, for one, do not trust that barman in the Equator Bar. Shifty eyes. And I fancy his moustache is a false one.
Oh, then the drugs might be in the drinks. We must put him to the test.
The sooner, the better.
You getting all this down, Charlie?
Yes, Chief.
What have we got so far?
Mrs. Bumstead, willing, fancies the barman, sooner the better.
Never mind all that. What we've got to do is to get a list of the girls' favourite drinks. Then we can move in on this shifty barman.
Hey, we can do that. We're going to organise it now.
And I'll bring it to your cabin later.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Bearstead.
Not Bear. Bumstead.
As you wish. Come on, Charlie, we've got a bit of thinking to do.
Have we?
Well, you have. I'm going to have my tea. Thanks very much, Mrs. Bearskin.
Bunskin! Bunskin!
Leave this to me, Chief. A large whiskey and creme de menthe with port in it, and a double vodka and brandy. Frappy, please.
Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure.
Please yourself.
What's all that about, Charlie? Well, look, there are 28 different drinks on this list the girls have given me, you see. Now, we're not going to have time to check them all one by one, are we? We have to do them in 2s and 3s. Ah, see. After this, you're having a rum and Chianti, and I'm going to have a pink gin and sherry.
All sounds a bit concentrated for me, that does. I think I better have a light ale as a chaser. Do you know, I used to read so much about the evils of drinking that a short while ago I completely gave up reading about it. Have we found what we're looking for, Charlie?
Yes, I think we have, yes.
Good. What were we looking for, Charlie?
You know, that relaxing thingy.
Oh, yeah. And we found it, George.
And you just asked me that?
Oh, no, that was me.
Yes, Yes, I do feel, you know, a little bit relaxed.
Oh, good. We'll go then. We'll get a cab this time of night.
We're on board ship, sir.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's not far. The swim will do us good. Come on, Charlie. Last one. All right. Oh. This is not our room.
You all right, boys?
Well, we're in a reciprocal situation. He can talk, but he can't walk. I can walk, but I can't talk. So between us, neither of us can do both. None of us can do either. Is that right, Charlie? He's asleep. That's a funny sight. 4 twins.
I think we better get you to bed.
Oh, that's a good idea. That's very civil of you, madam. Very civil of you. Very civil. I knew your mother. There. Come on, Charlie. Good night, all.
And so the two pie-eyed private eyes find themselves being put to bed by the twin clarinetists, having failed once again to discover the mystery of the drugged kidnapped victims.
Oh, was that my head?
The girls did a thorough job, which in other circumstances could have been fun. But our pathetic heroes were too befuddled to realize that once again they'd been caught with their pants down.
This breakfast smells of fish.
Well, it's a kipper. I can't eat this.
Well, I must eat something. My mouth tastes like the inside of a wrestler's laundry basket.
We did overdo it last night, didn't we?
Yeah, and we still didn't discover anything. Well, it must be the food, that's all. The drugs have to be in the food.
Yeah, but not just any food, is it, you see? It's not ordinary food, is it? It's the food only given to the orchestra.
Yeah, but when?
In the interval.
When they all go round the back for their refreshments.
Yeah, that's it, Chief.
Yeah, but we can't get hold of any of that, can we? The only people allowed round here are the orchestra.
Just give me a little while. I might just come up with an idea.
I might come up with something else.
What did Sandra say? Well, she said she'll have a go on the cymbals, but you know what a big chest she's got? What about it? She wants danger money.
Do you mind, madam? I'm changing my clothing here. Oh, it's you, Charlie.
Yeah,
thieved it from one of the girls' cabins. She got 3 or 4, so she'll never notice. And the elasticated wig, you see, and the dolly bag to put me samples in. So I'm now ready to infiltrate the enemy camp.
Camp is right. What are they?
Me socks.
So, you're just going to walk in, help yourself a few bits of food, put in your bag, and then keep it down, right? Any trouble?
And so Charlie prepares to do battle in the bun fight which takes place behind the scenes at Mrs. Bumstead's nightly concert. But who is the blind man who constantly lurks within earshot? Will Mrs. Bumstead pay danger money to the girl with the cymbals? Or is she playing it a bit too close to the chest? Don't miss next week's enthralling episode of Band of Slaves.
Morning.
Afternoon.
Nice evening, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. It's a lovely evening. Mind you, it's not such a nice evening it was yesterday morning.
No, yesterday morning's a real nice evening, wasn't it?
Yeah. Was a nice evening yesterday morning.
Yeah.
I blame the weather, you know.
Oh, I blame the government.
Oh, yeah, and the government, yeah. We'd be better off without no government, you know, and we could do as we like.
Are you the village idiot?
Yeah.
I'm the next village idiot.
How do you know that?
I mean, I'm the idiot from the next village.
Oh, I see, yeah. Was you elected?
No, I were picked. They put 3 names in the hat. They put the names of the 3 daftest people in the village in the hat, and mine were picked.
Oh, who were the other 2?
The vicar and the local MP.
You were lucky to get the job then, weren't you?
Mind you had an unfair advantage, you know, because my name were in the hat twice.
How was that?
It were my hat. How did you get the job?
Oh, it was the one with the funniest nose.
Oh.
Yeah, they all picked mine.
I wouldn't pick your nose.
I wouldn't pick yours.
If you could do anything you wanted to do in the whole wide world, what would you like to do most?
I'd go and pinch Rosie Bottom's apples.
Don't you mean the other way round? Don't you mean you'd like to go and pinch Rosie Apple's bottom?
No, George Bottom's Rosie.
Is he?
Lives over Wormholt way. Grows apples, big and rosy.
Who is?
His daughter. I'll go and pinch her apples, I would. I'd climb over her wall, I would.
You sure she wouldn't mind?
No, she's used to having her things pinched.
You better be careful, she might pinch yours.
Oh, no, I wear me thick corduroys.
How is your wife?
I haven't got a wife.
I know that, but how is she anyway?
She's very well. We're getting married next month.
What, both of you?
Oh, yes.
Who to?
Each other.
There's a coincidence then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
She's getting married in white.
Oh, yes. What colour will you be getting married in?
Well, I'm getting married in my best suit. Yes, the one I got for my birthday.
You get married in your birthday suit?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
It'll need pressing, won't it? Will she be carrying anything up the aisle?
Yeah, her father, most likely.
I don't mean that. I mean like a wreath.
Oh, yeah, she'll be carrying a big lump of apple blossom.
Roses?
Eh? Who?
Rosie Bottom's blossom, her with the big apples.
No, my bride'll have that.
Big Rosie Bottom?
She won't be there.
Who?
My wife Blossom will go up the aisle with roses holding her big bottom.
Oh, well, I wish her joy then. Joy, the parson's daughter. Now, she has got big rosy apples. Oh, yes, I'm in love with her, Joy. I really am. I'm learning to write so I can write her a letter. I wrote her a letter, yeah. I got a letter here I wrote. There we go.
Oh.
Yeah?
Is all that written by you?
All wrote by me.
Oh. What's it say?
I don't know. I haven't learned to read yet.
Here. That parson's a funny-looking bloke, isn't he?
Hey?
I wonder who picked his nose. I wonder who picked the parson's nose.
Oh, I don't know. Roll on Christmas, I say.
Well, I'm going to go home now. I'm going to plant some corn.
Oh, do you grow corn?
No, it grow by itself. I fertilise it. And the wife.
Well, we all know about that.
I corn did better than it did last year. It didn't grow at all last year. So small last year, the roots had to get down on their ends and knees to eat it.
And try sparrows.
Well, I'm off.
Oh, it's you, is it? I thought something.
Will I see you here when I get back?
No, no.
Why is that?
I'm coming with you.
Oh. Thank you very much. Now, here is a joke about a man who, for 35 years, has been a supporter of Fulham Football Club. Pathetic, isn't it? Another story of the low life. No, actually, I know what you're thinking. Here we go, just an excuse to do a lot of cheap jokes about Fulham. Well, you are wrong, because I happen to be Fulham Football Club's biggest fan. Which should give you some idea how many fans they've got. No, as a matter of fact, I only heard this story at lunchtime, to be honest. It's quite... My agent, who had been making a phone call, we were at lunch, came back to the table, checked the dipstick in his Perrier water. He's not exactly a heavy drinker. He once took 3 weeks to dry out after eating a wine gum. However, he came back to the table with some rather exciting news, as I'm pleased to be able to tell you tonight, because I have just been picked, it's only been announced, but I've just been picked for the title role in the next Tarzan film. It's going to be called Tarzan Isn't Very Well. And next week I begin rehearsing my first big scenes with Bo Derek. She will be in a very revealing low-cut loincloth. And I'll be in a fallout shelter. Oh, went very quiet there, didn't it? No, to be honest, I'm hoping it will buck me up a bit because I've been feeling very sort of tense this week. Now, I went to see the doctor about it, and he got out one of those things that test your blood pressure, a rates demand. Then he made me take off all my clothes, and he examined me from top to bottom. He said, "I'm sorry, I can't find anything wrong at all with you, Mrs. Corbett." Personally, I don't think he's got much idea. I asked him for something to slow me down. He gave me a pint of brake fluids. I know why I was feeling tense. It's this new house we moved into, I was telling you, and that we're still getting an awful lot of teething troubles. There's been some shrinkage in the woodwork. The other day, a fella put his hand under the front door and stole the dining room table. I digress. The joke is as I told you, in the bar, by my agent this time. As a matter of fact, to be honest, he told me 2 jokes. The other one was the story about a very rich oil tycoon who's deciding what to buy his 3 sons for Christmas. And the first son said he'd like a boat, so he bought him the QE2. And the second son said he'd like a music centre, so he bought him the Albert Hall. The youngest son said he'd like a cowboy outfit, so he bought him British Airways. Now, but unfortunately, how will I get to Australia next time? Unfortunately, I haven't got time to tell that joke as well. Besides which, I happen to prefer the sporting flavour of the other one because I myself am something of a sports enthusiast. And it sounds hard to believe, I know, doesn't it? When you consider that at school I was a bit of a weakling, believe it or not. Oh, no, I was. I was a hitman for the Ovaltinis, and when I think of all the risky things we used to get up to at school, I'll tell you, like playing conkers in the showers. That really kept you on your toes. We returned to the chap, who you remember, supports Fulham. Now, one day, he goes along to the club secretary and he says, "I've supported your team religiously," he said, "all my life. And when I die, as a gesture of respect to the club, I'd like my ashes to be scattered all over the ground, the pitch, you see." So the secretary said, "Well, you know the rule. You know that spectators aren't really allowed onto the pitch." No, he said... No, he didn't say that. I just thought about it there. Anyway, he said, "I've got a better idea," the secretary said to him. He said, "I've got a better idea." He said, "Why don't you go and see a taxidermist?" Now, he sounds a little bit like my bank manager, to be honest. He said, "Why don't you go and see a taxidermist," he said, "and arrange something with him?" Well, then what we'll do, he said, when it's all over, he said, "we will sit you back in your old place in the stand every Saturday afternoon." So the chap agrees to this, and the years went by, and eventually the fateful day came round. He was sitting there,
watching the Borgias. And he died in his sleep. Well, all the instructions he left were carried out to the letter, and the following Saturday, at 3 o'clock, they sacked him in his old place, in the stand at Fulham Football Ground. And as usual, he left at half-time.
It's that great show, Nashville. It's that great show, Nashville. Tonight's gonna be some celebration. All the stars you're gonna see, coast to coast from KYC. From Nashville, Tennessee's on TV station. Gonna reach ya, gonna reach ya. Gonna feature the stars big and bright. Gonna see some jubilee here on station KYC. Gonna get some good old Opry here tonight.
And here he is, folks, the Kentucky Cowboy. Tall in the saddle and short in the breath. It's Mr. Slim Pittman.
I'm a guy with a guitar and it hides where my feet are. My spurs trip me up where I tread. And that old jingle jangle gets my sheets in a tangle. Cause I don't take my boots off in bed. Gonna beat ya, gonna beat ya, gonna treat ya to hogwash and grits. Oh, my jeans, they've been shortened and they gets where the old and they grunge my important little bit. Folks, she's big down south. She's big way out west. She's the one you've been waiting for. Little lady who's big all over. Let's hear from Missy Holly Parton.
I'm a gal who's curvaceous and the folks holler gracious. What a peach, she's the pick of the crop. I can jive, I can jigger. I'm a real hourglass figure and the sand sure is stacked up the top. Gonna meet ya, gonna greet ya, gonna treat ya to hogwash and grits. I got jazz, I got jingles, I got great swinging singles. In the charts, they're my two biggest hits.
Gonna meet ya,
Gonna meet ya,
gonna meet ya, gonna treat ya to hogwash and grits. There'll be whiskey in the jar, there'll be 2 beats in the bar, and they will be singing country hits. Little song about some folks who are really dear to me. Now I love my dear Ma, she's a real Texas dame. And we both love my pa, though we don't know his name. I love my grandpappy and my sister, of course. But best of all these, dang it, I love my horse. He's a 3-legged critter, but he's my best friend. With a smile in each eye and a grin at each end. So I keeps him in clover and I scratches his head. Cause he keeps me real warm when we're tucked up in bed.
When I was 11, I was just a brat. My voice was sharp and my chest was flat. So I took deep breathing and a small guitar. Now I'm a 47 and a real big star. It's pretty, it's flirty, it's fabulous me.
Big star.
All the fellas agree they don't come any bigger down in old Tennessee.
When I see apples, then I think of Anne. When I see nectarines, I think of Nan. When I see peaches, then I think of Prue. But when it's watermelons, then it's you know who.
It's a Rudy, it's a Tootie, it's a fruity old me.
Big star.
All the fellas agree they don't come any riper down in old Tennessee.
She's a poker like a sofa. Give me country style with a blaze of brains. I'm called the country western king.
He gets crowned each time he sings. Country style is still the best of brains.
Well, now, baby, baby, gonna shake my hip, gonna get that wild applause. Baby, baby, gonna let it rip.
Ooh-wee, you bust my drawers.
Folks call us the Nashville sound, cause we gnash their teeth when we're around. Country style is still the best of brains. I got sequins on my Stetson.
I got things they're taking bets that's on me. Country style, we're the best of friends. I'm called the Cadillac of rock.
There's 40,000 on your clock.
Country style, still the best of friends. Well, now, baby, gonna shake my hip, gonna twist that ball and jack. Baby, gonna let it rip.
Ooh, I've done my back.
Royal flush, that's him and me. The king, the queen of Tennessee. Country style is still the best of friends. Country style is still the best of friends. Woo!
That's it, folks. That's a good old song. The devil is Polly Darky. Well, that seems to be all we have time for tonight, doesn't it, Ronnie?
Indeed it does. But before we go, a few late items of news. Many old music hall fans were present at the funeral today of Fred Chuckles Jenkins, Britain's oldest and unfunniest comedian. In tribute, the vicar read out one of Fred's jokes, and the congregation had 2 minutes silence.
A would-be thief in a Romford supermarket was thwarted today by have-a-go assistant, Miss Teresa Quilp, who attacked him with a labelling gun. Police say they are now looking for a man with a price on his head.
Finally, a committee of the United Nations has declared that next year will be the year of the gas man. The gas board says it won't be able to start until March at the earliest.
Next week, in a packed programme, we'll be meeting the public footpath inspector who met a girl on Hampstead Heath and had his right of way with her.
And I'll be talking to the man who made love with his wife 6 times in an hour and a half and amazed 2 of Britain's top doctors. They were sitting at the next table.
Until then, it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him. Good night.
Good night.